Hello everyone, this is Sketchcast episode 24. I'm Crypticink and today we're going outside.
There goes a sight from my soul.
Recently, an artist posed a question on our Facebook group Zombie Studio asking, "What advice do you have for breaking out of the comfort zone?" In the spirit of this question, I set out to leave my own comfort zone and go outside on a busy day to draw some people from life, trying hard to capture quick gestures and movements as all these people passed us by. With all this in mind, I'm going to talk about identifying and beating the comfort zone and how helpful it is for you as an artist. So, let's go! Okay, so I just came back with Michael from sketching outside, and I have to say I'm not too happy with how things turned out, but I'm glad I gave it a go and kind of defeated that anxiety about it. So here is what came out of it, just a couple pages. At first it started off really loose and very messy. I was just trying to get a little used to looking up at people, which is not something I like to do too often. We did start off in a really busy area where everybody was just walking around and nobody was still, which probably wasn't the best place to start for my first time out doing live sketches of people, but I got a little better. The sketches got a little tighter. I do feel like I spent way too much time on each person, because by the time I finished the sketch they were long gone, and I kind of defeated the purpose of just getting the movement and the idea of a person down. It just really comes down to the fact that I'm not quite fast enough, but I do really like this page. This girl here was wearing this really pretty like high slit dress, and it had stripes on it, and then she had like this really cute top on. So I paid special attention to what she was wearing because I really liked it. And then there was this guy like leaning against the wall eating ice cream and like spilling it all over himself, but it was kind of funny. He's really casual. And after that we moved locations and people were still pretty busy, but it wasn't too bad. I think the last couple pages were my favorite, but it wasn't really about doing a pretty sketch, even though I wanted them to look nice. It was more about just getting into the experience and doing something that I've wanted to do for a while, but haven't really, gone out of my way to do, which is draw people at a public location. So I'm gonna take, one or two of these sketches and kind of make a new art piece out of just the inspiration from what I did today. So let's get to it. I'm just going to take the quick sketches I did outside and spend a little more time on one or two of them just to see what I can get. So for me, step one to leaving the comfort zone is to identify what makes you hesitate. As I mentioned, leaving the house is usually pretty hard for me, especially when it's during the busiest part of the day here. What was harder was drawing in public and studying strangers critically as they passed me by. And I was so worried about them looking at me, looking at them, and worried about people seeing my drawing. It was pretty awkward, but mostly in my own head. Life drawing is one of my weaker skills, and sometimes I don't normally go do that outside of school. My comfort zone in art is in drawing animals, monsters, and women from my imagination. That's just what I like to do, and it usually takes a lot more effort for me to draw anything else particularly well. So I could tell right away that drawing from life, drawing different kinds of real life people was way outside of my comfort zone. I didn't really care for drawing people from life growing up as an artist and throughout school, even though I knew it would benefit me, and it was mostly because I'm not as good at it as I want to be. It was a struggle, however necessary. But an important thing to note is that sometimes doing the things you don't normally like doing will help you overcome some of your weaknesses in art. When you know there is a subject that makes you hesitate or have to work around in drawing, that is the outside of your comfort zone. And knowing your weaknesses or what you don't do often is how you can identify the borders of your comfort zone. And once you know what it is you're going to push yourself to do, and it can be drawing hands and feet or backgrounds or mechanical drawings or portraits, whatever it is, once you know which one you want to work on first, you really must put effort into doing it. So many people can say things like, I wish I could draw hands, and then turn around and avoid drawing hands at all costs. And I mean, I'm sure there were a ton of us that were younger, and we would always draw people with their hands behind their backs, which I think is a good example because it was a classic workaround and we were able to avoid that discomfort. But now, if you truly want to draw outside the box of what you're used to, you've got to go out of your way to draw something uncomfortable. Drawing outside of the artist's comfort zone may be a very anxious task for many people. It was a little stressful for me in two parts. One part was that I was getting out of the house and I'm really socially anxious, so there were some personal hurdles I had to go through in drawing around all these strangers. But it was also stressful in that gesture drawing isn't always the easiest thing to do for everyone, and it certainly wasn't very easy for me, but I pushed myself to do it anyways. But that's just the stress of doing something unfamiliar to you. And sometimes you just have to go through it. If you do it often enough, eventually it becomes easier. The stress of drawing or doing something you're not good at or used to will eventually fade as you improve. In short, if you don't know where your comfort zone is, look at what it is you may be avoiding in your art. Or look at some materials that you haven't tried yet but thought were interesting and go in that direction. If it helps, make a list and write it down so you can see it. Then tackle those tasks. And definitely keep in mind that it's not meant to be comfortable. That's just it. You're leaving the place of comfort, and the result may or it may not be amazing, but you are still trying something new, which can be a very great thing. And even if it looks bad and you don't like it, take a break. Draw whatever you want, obviously, but I encourage you to come back to trying new mediums and new subjects in art once you're up to it again. The main component is just not being too hard on yourself when you're trying something completely new to you. Now, I wasn't over-enthused about this particular project I was working on and how the pictures turned out, but I did learn some things, and surprisingly, I am a little eager to get back out there again and try people sketching once more, and maybe more after that. I'm just glad I did it. It wasn't as bad as I was making it out to be at first. The way I see it, things can really only go up from here. And you can break out of your comfort zone too, trust me. You can do it too. You just have to identify one new thing to try at a time and give it a go without judging yourself. Just have fun with it, as I'm beginning to like to say. So that's about it for this week's episode. I hope I can offer some good ideas about leaving the comfort zone. If you've got your own ideas, please share them in the comment section below. You know, how do you leave the comfort zone? What's your experience trying new things? What are your thoughts? Okay, so thanks so much for watching. Next video, I will be showing you guys how I made some super cool recycled sketchbooks from home, so stay tuned, and I will see you all next time. Bye!
Aside from my soul.